struggled today. I try not to do this too far in advance because things are moving so quickly that if I did this on the weekend, by the time we got to Thursday, it would be irrelevant, is kind of how it feels these days. But I really struggled today because there's so much going on to talk about, especially if you look at the federal level, and then of course state and local level, which we're very interested in here. But as you've heard me say over and over again, I'm going to say it again because it's still true, what a time to be alive, because we are seeing miracles in government that we have never seen. None of us. Reagan came close. They tried to kill him. No surprise. They missed. But it's just amazing. First of all, claims of Donald Trump's demise have been greatly exaggerated. If you're paying attention to the primaries, and I assume if you're here, you're probably paying attention to the primaries. There's been a concerted effort for the last, well, really since he was inaugurated, to try to make the case that he's a lame duck, because it's his second term, he can't run again, right? So he doesn't have coattails in 28, right? So people are afraid of that. Oh, hello, Representative Ligon. I didn't see you sneak in there. Everybody, Randy Ligon.
Sorry, Mike.
Yep. And I apologize because I skipped right over the first bullet like I often do. Any other elected officials that we need to recognize or running for office? I see. Elizabeth Enns. Yes, thank you. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. You know me, and I do that all the time. There's been a concerted effort to make the case that Donald Trump is no longer relevant. He's no longer popular with his voters, and it's been one hoax after another. I remember when he first announced the tariffs last year. Oh, well, that was going to be the end of the economy. We were all going to be destitute. It was going to be terrible. Not so much. The Epstein files, I remember that was a big thing. Oh, now he's going to, now those people are going to certainly leave. Venezuela, I remember. Well, now we're engaged in another land war. We're going to have, we're going to have tens of thousands of troops down there, and it's going to be a forever war. We're going to have to, have another Afghanistan for 20 years. Not so much. Of course, most recently Iran. This one's fascinating. People like to say, I didn't vote for this, and that's okay. I didn't vote for a new forever war, and I would make the case, and anyhow, it's not unique to me. It's not a new war. It's a 47-year-old war, and he's bringing it to an end for the first time. It's been the same. It has been the same advice given to every president, and they all kick the can down the road. Not this man. So, the things, and there's just too many to list, but internationally, right, Panama, right, we kicked the Chinese out. Venezuela, we got Maduro, he's in custody somewhere wearing a Nike tracksuit singing like a bird. Iran, Cuba's coming soon, the Abraham Accords. Europe is behind the eight ball, mostly of their own doing, but we're helping them. And Russia and China are fascinating because these are our two greatest geopolitical adversaries. And you would have thought that when we went after Iran, that China and Russia, who were dependent on Iran for a lot of things, for arms, for oil, would have come to their aid. Not a bit. Tells you what's what. Domestically, the border's closed. We're getting rid of illegals. The fraud that's being exposed is just, I'm a cynic by nature, folks, but I still can't believe the stuff that's being exposed every day. Commercial driver's licenses. Going to people that can't read English. It's awful. The markets are doing well. They don't seem to be too terribly terrorized by it. But then there's my own favorite little hobby horse, and Denny's, and I agree on this, and that's election integrity. Because if you don't have control of your elections, what the heck have you got? It's a mess. And now, South Carolina, you can say, is better than a lot of states. At least we don't have, Oregon has universal mail-in ballots, right? Just stay home, get your 50 ballots, and fill them out however you want, and you're good to go. So we're better than some, but if you're familiar with Laura Sharp, right? And South Carolina safe elections. She went to the mat to try to get readouts of the electronic voting equipment that we've got, and just got stuck, right? She just spent a lot of her own money and some of others. So we have our issues too. But the things that Trump is doing, he issued an EO a month or so ago, or two, to go after mail-in ballots. And the brilliant thing about that is he can do that because the Postal Service reports to him. And so if you're doing the wrong thing at the Postal, he can fix that, right? And it's not unconstitutional. And in fact, there was just a ruling today that said, the cheaters wanted to cheat, and the court said, no, he can do this. He can do this. So that's great. And now here's the rumor. As some of you may know, but this has been way under the radar. Last summer, Tulsi Gabbard made an arrangement with Puerto Rico to go down and collect some of their electronic voting equipment. And they've been analyzing it. They've been tearing it down and finding out that many of the chips come from places like China and Malaysia and Korea. They're not domestic. And so the rumor is that Trump is about to issue another executive order declaring a national emergency around election equipment because it is a critical infrastructure. He's not going to do it before the primaries because we're already voting, right? Okay, but before the midterms, this is a cataclysm. And now, can you cheat without equipment? Yeah, you can still cheat without equipment. The ballot dumps and whatnot. But it's just amazing what we're seeing there. Statewide. You should know that our executive committee met earlier this month and made a number of endorsements for the primaries. Okay? And so we endorsed Mark Lynch in the Senate race. We endorsed David Pascoe in the Attorney General's race. We endorsed, let's see, what's in District 26? All right, Elizabeth Enns, right, in District 26. We're very optimistic on that one. I can't understand why David Martin, who's a Republican in good standing, has never come to a meeting or been a member here. I just got, it's a head scratcher. Debbie Cloninger, right, for county council. And Tommy Atkins as well for county council, and Anna Miller for probate judge. So those are the endorsements that the EC, they were almost all unanimous, maybe one or two all not, but notably absent was the governor's race, though. And so for a variety of reasons, the EC decided not to, or the endorsement committee decided not to make a recommendation to the EC on that. But if you look at the straw polling that we did for our membership anyway, and the people who came to one of our meetings, Ralph garnered like 70%. Ralph Norman did, so if that's any indication. But we didn't make a formal endorsement. So those are a few things that are going on. As I say, there's more, there's a lot, but I'm not going to bore you anymore.